Hi again for Chess-Based Workshop. I'm Steve Lopez. Thank you for clicking on that link and joining us. We're going to look at opening training today. We've been looking at engines versus engines, looked at some endgame stuff. Now we're going to look at the openings. There is opening training in Fritz, and there's a lot of interesting things you can do with the opening training in this software, up to and including forcing Fritz to play a particular opening. So we're going to look at that. The way you get to opening training in Fritz, first of all, is from your main screen. Just go to training and you'll see a button here that says opening training. Oddly enough, that's how you get to opening training. Click on it, and what it gives you is a menu of different choices. Aliekin's defense, Benoni, bishops, Dutch defense, English, French, etc. All these different openings. And what it'll do is, if you click on a particular name of an opening, it'll jump you right to this position in this view over here and show you the opening moves that you will be expected to play if you do the learn moves function of this. But we're going to get to that in a minute. If you don't click learn moves, if you just leave this alone, what this will do is jump you right to this position. And that's how you can force Fritz to play a particular opening. For example, if you really want to play the bishop's opening against Fritz, click on bishop's opening, e4, e5, bishop c4, click OK, jumps you right to that position, directly to it. And now, if you want to play the white side of this opening, which I assume that you would since white's at the bottom here, you can go back to the home menu, select move now, and Fritz will play a move as black. Or you can hit the space bar on your keyboard, which is normally what I do. But if you go to move now, Fritz will make a move. Now you can play the opening against Fritz. You see the clocks are running and you can start playing. So you can do that. Something else you'll do, by the way, if you go back to training, we're going to turn it off. And we're going to come back here and do new game, just so I can show you different features here. You go to opening training and select change sides. What the software will do is, every time you finish a game, you can start another game and change the sides. For example, if you click OK here, notice that now I'm black. It automatically switched sides from the last time we did this. And if you go back here to the home button, every time I click new game, it's just changing sides. So you can play a series of bishop openings against Fritz, changing sides each time between white and black, which is really cool. The other thing is, if you don't want to change sides, let's go back to opening training again, and we just leave it alone. Click OK, and we'll hit the space bar and have Fritz make a move. Let's say we play a game out, we want to start another game. Every time we click new game, it'll be to that same position. So if you want to play a series of games as white in bishop's opening against Fritz, just hit space bar, play your game out. When it's done, click new game, and you go right to that position. That's pretty cool. Another thing you can do with this is learn the moves of a particular opening. So we'll go back to training, turn opening training off. Select new game again. Go back to opening training. If you want to learn the moves of a particular opening, in other words, you want to play it out from the opening position of a game of chess, click Learn Moves. Now when you click OK, you just get the opening position. Now you play a move, and it's all good. However, let's say you're learning an opening. You do this. Of course, Fritz will play the recommended move of that opening. You play something else, you get this. And this is our old friend Leo, the coach. His name's not really Leo, but I call him that because he looks like a guy named Leo. The coach warns, wrong move. So you can either take back the move and try something else. You can ignore it and play on from there if you want to. Or you can click show move and have Leo show you what you should have played, as I've just done there. So that's pretty cool. However, you do occasionally hear people say that when you go to opening training, the selection of openings is rather rudimentary. Budapest defense, only 2 moves long. Caro-Kann, only a couple moves. Well, there's a way around that as well. If you click detailed, you get a different set of openings. And now you get sub-openings within an opening. For example, bishop's opening that we looked at a moment ago when detailed was not selected, 1e4, e5, 2 bishop c4. When you click detailed and you go to bishop's opening, you still have that choice, but now you have longer variations available. So, for example, if I want to learn Greco's Gambit, what should I play here? I can click Learn Moves, leave detailed checked, do this, and F4, I believe. Yep, and I made the right move, and now we're playing. However, if you do New Game, that's not the recommended move. And here's Leo to tell me where I messed up. Show move. Well, I should have moved that F pawn. Very simple to do. Turn it off. Turn it back on. So you have the opportunity to learn moves. However, if you know these three moves, you don't feel the need to practice these three particular moves, you can unselect Learn Moves, click OK, and it jumps right to that position, and now you can have Fritz play the next move by either hitting the space bar or coming here and clicking Move Now. So you can not only practice openings, but you can force Fritz into a particular opening by doing this opening training. Something else interesting you should notice as well, and that is I have the clock set for a blitz game of 4 minutes plus 2 seconds for each move that each player has made. Well, guess what? Look here. The clocks have incremented themselves accordingly. So we have extra time already built in as though these moves had already been played. It gave a couple of extra seconds to each side. It should actually say 4:06 and 4:04. But the interesting point about this, because I keep going back to New Game and coming back here, is why I did that. But what's interesting about this is that if you do have a longer variation, you will get the extra time accordingly as though those moves had actually been played if you just skip that Learn Moves part of opening training. It's a cool feature. Here, turn it off, turn it back on, and we can pick a different opening if we want. We can go to something else like the Budapest Defense, for example, a favorite of mine. So that's all there is to it. You have several options up here. Once again, if you want to actually have to play the moves of each opening out, first of all, if you uncheck detailed, you get very simple openings, only a couple 3 moves long. If you click Learn Moves, you'll have to play the moves out. If you uncheck it, when you click OK, it'll jump right to this position that's being displayed. You can change sides. If you want to play both sides of a particular opening, you just play a series of games. You'll have white in one game, black in the next, then white, then black. It'll just alternate sides. And of course, detailed, as we saw, gives you more choices, more selections that you can play in this particular feature of Fritz. A whole bunch of different ones, which of course, no matter how many there are, there's going to be somebody's favorite that got left out. So what we need to do is figure out how to add our own openings. And we'll do that the next time around at Chess Base Workshop. Till then, I'm Steve Lopez reminding you to please do have fun.